Miracles here, and welcome to the Spark Show, where we got comedy, news, and two forgettable digs.
With Sparks.
You've got tiny wrists.
Pike.
Hates French toast and your children.
And you, the committee.
Yo, what up, fucker?
Subscribe now and become a committee member. Let's rock.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, Pike, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
I'm so great. It's so good to be here. It's so nice to see you.
I would agree on all of that.
Sincerity, 100% right now. And I know it sounds like I'm being facetious, but I just can't handle being sincere. So it comes off like I'm being a dick, which I don't always enjoy being. So my apologies if it's coming off that way.
No, same thing. Everybody says that about me. Never
It's hard.
serious.
It's hard.
Yeah. Are you being sarcastic? I don't know.
Chances are, maybe I'm just being for the joke.
It's likely.
It's likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, we got a great show today. So, look, if you're here, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. If you could, hit subscribe. Oh, my God. Wouldn't that be a magical moment, Pike? What do you think happens when a committee member hits subscribe here on the show? What do you think they do? What do you think happens?
Oh, I think both of our wives probably feel that in their genitals.
Our wives? You
Well,
think
yeah.
I'm going to have another
Yeah.
committee member stimulate my wife?
It's not directly, but they know that it's now one step closer to having a sugar daddy.
I don't think you should hit subscribe, committee member. Don't hit subscribe. In fact, if you do, I can't blame you. I understand. I'm going to hit subscribe myself here in a minute because I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah, just set your computer next to your bed when you're doing it. So, like right at that time, just like click.
Exactly. And for the first time, I will witness my wife experiencing pleasure.
Yeah. You did that. Look
I
at
know.
you.
It'll be like, wow. So this is what it's like. I mean, just amazing. That right there is not a financial advisor. His name is at Pike Taylor Radio on all social media. He's a great dude. He's a great man. Okay. He hits subscribe quite often. Let me just say that. I am at Sparks Radio on all social media. What'd you do? You turned the subscribe thing into a horrible thing now. You realize
I like
that.
the thought of it.
You
Well,
turned
you're
it
being weird.
on its head, bro. You know, if you can give us a thumbs up as well. It's a comedy finance podcast. What is that? Oh, you're going to need a full dose of it today because we got a comedian on the show today, Pike. We got a guest.
Really? Should I act surprised?
Yeah, you should act surprised like we haven't already done it. We haven't already.
Here I thought it would just be us two.
Yeah. No. If this wasn't enough, if this beginning wasn't stimulating and tantalizing enough, we're gonna bring in Quinn is on the show today, which I am very excited about because he's a good.
He's great, and just prepare for there to have been a bunch of references to like climaxing with the subscribe. Now there will be none because we weren't aware of it.
Because we already recorded the thing. Yeah. All right. Good. Yeah.
Because you think it'd be like, oh, that was a funny thing they had going, and they're going to keep doing that. No, you won't hear about it again.
No.
This is it.
Normally we act like he's like waiting in the wings, you know, like we're going to go to that 3-shot and he's going to be there.
Yeah.
Really, you know?
Yeah.
But if I go to the 3-shot now, there's nobody there. There's nobody there. And we're not even wearing the same clothes. So it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. So I'll just preface this and then we'll go into it like he's right here, right now. So excited to be on the show. Are you ready?
Perfect. Yep.
His name is Quinn. He is a actor, comedian, voiceover actor, business owner. The man, I don't use mogul quite often, but he's working his way there. He's working his way to a mogul, a Hollywood mogul. Okay. He's out there in beautiful Southern California. I know him. I've known him for a very long time. I went to college with this fine gentleman, and then he left. He went to SoCal to pursue his dreams, and I went north to Fargo, North Dakota, to also experience my dreams. And where has it landed me? In my parents' basement, and he's still there in Southern California. So you decide who's the winner in life at the moment. But it's not a competition. I'm, again, straying from the original point. The original point is that we got Pat Quinn on the show. He's a great man, great follow. Enjoy this interview. We're going to be talking some finance. We're going to be talking comedy. There's going to be a lot of giggles. What do you think, Pike? Did I set it up good?
I wasn't listening.
Pat Quinn! How are you, man? Mr.
Let's
Toyota
talk,
Sienna
man.
commercial over here.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Wow.
yeah, that's
You
exciting. Yeah, that's great. Pat
Yeah.
Quinn, he's a great dude. He's a comedian out there in Los Angeles. Thanks so much for being here, man. Really appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for having me on, man. I missed you. I hadn't heard your voice in so long. It's good to see you.
Oh man. Oh, that's nice. I've never heard that from a family member before, let alone a friend. So thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Look, man, we're doing a little twist on this. I know last time Pat has been on the show multiple times before. I appreciate you coming on back here. We're twisting this show into a little bit of a financial thing. I'm a bit of a personal finance nerd. It's one of the things I listen to, read about. I'm constantly interested in. And I know that you're co-owner of is it a CBD lotion company? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I want to pick your brain on that.
Not lotion, but yeah, CBD company. Yeah.
CBD company as well. So that's awesome. So you're dipping into the whole, hey man, let's make some money outside of everything I normally do.
Yeah. I think I kind of get that from my dad. He always pushed business so hard, not intentionally like to chase me away from entertainment, but it's just in my DNA where I'm like, oh, he wants me to do business. So I've got business always in my head. So when an opportunity arose, I attacked it,
Okay, let's start. Can we start with you? Because obviously you have some business chops then. How did it arise? Was it you and a buddy? Because you're part owner of this whole thing, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like a beautiful story or anything. We were just drunk one night. To tell you the truth.
Sound beautiful to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the best ones come from, right, Pike? So we're hanging out, we're having some drinks, and we're just at my house just chilling. And he was like, I've always said, this is a buddy of mine who I met out here in Los Angeles. He's actually from Ohio, but we met out here in LA, became friends. And he's like, I've always had this idea of starting a CBD company. And I was like, oh, dude, when you're drunk, you're like, that's sick, man. Let me jump in on that. And we just kept talking about it. And I was like, I can help you out with, I used to do social media at this company for like 6 or 7 years. I was like, I can help you out with the social aspect of it and some marketing. And then at the beginning of, that was probably 2 years ago. And in the beginning of quarantine, he called me and he's like, hey, I really kind of started this company. And if you want to jump in and help me do some social, it'd be great. So I jumped in, kind of started doing some social media and doing a bunch of little random things. And then he just was like, we kind of just talked every day nonstop. We were on the phone. So we had nothing else to do, by the way, it's quarantine. I'm usually doing shows or auditions and everything was pretty much stopped. So we just had free time. So I just started jumping in the thing with him. And he was like, hey man, you're working with this so much with me on this that I want to bring you in as a part owner. And I was like, I'm not going to say no to that. So then we kind of did that. And then we were kind of doing some organic marketing because without getting too much into the details, the Facebook and Instagram they're pretty particular on who they let post ads when it comes to cannabis. It's really, really hard. And CBD, even though it's just a tiny, tiny bit of cannabis, they still have issue with it. So we were doing a bunch of organic marketing, and I'm bringing it to any of my friends who have more significant followings, and trying to use that as a good marketing strategy. And I brought it to my friend Meta World Peace, and he loved it. He was like, dude, I love this. I've been wanting to kind of get involved in CBD. Then he just jumped in with us. So now he's also a part owner as well with us. So
I can't wait for
we're pushing it along.
Yeah, this is like the new social network. It's amazing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Dude,
Am I Justin Timberlake in this scenario?
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely JT in this scenario.
Okay,
You're
good.
get rid of the CBD. Okay, it's just CBD.
Get rid of C.
I gotta.
You're like, what?
I gotta ask how the hell did you become friends with Meta World Peace? I assume there's not two of them. It's the
No, it's
NBA player.
thinking. Yeah, you're pretty on.
Okay,
You're on point. I used to ball a lot, and I got pretty close to the pro leagues, and I'm just kidding, dude. I'm the worst fucking sports player, dude. I'm totally joking about that. No, I was like cleaning his sheets or something made. No, it's a funny story. Like, my brother is dating somebody from Canada, and they're now fiance, and her best friend is Meta's Meta's wife from Canada, and so we all just kind of became friends that way, and then he just is he's really a good guy, sweet guy, very caring dude, really cool, and we just became really good friends. I like people who are cool, so we kind of hit it off, and here we are with the company together now at this point.
It's awesome, man.
And that's amazing. That's so cool. And he still prefers Meta. Does he introduce himself as Meta? Because obviously he was formerly Ron Artest.
Yeah. I think so. I go back and forth without even like thinking about it. I'm whatever comes out of my mouth, I say it. But sometimes I call him Ron. Sometimes I call him Meta. Sometimes I call him BFF for L. And he's like, "What the hell is that, dude?" I'm like,
I'm sure it's like when people call you Pike or people call me Sparks or Matt or whatever, everyone just kind of, flip flops. Like it's just a nickname kind of, I imagine.
I believe he prefers Meta. I think when he introduces himself to most people, he says Meta, and I think most people know him as that by now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, dude. That's so cool how
this
kind of happened. And the company's is it doing well? Is it going like how you guys are projecting?
Yeah, we've only been when did we launch? We launched in September, like a soft launch in September, and it's going pretty good. We just launched a new line of products to kind of like a little bit of a rebranding about like 4 weeks ago, and everything's going pretty good. We're getting to a couple stores. We're it's a grind. We're calling a lot of shops, and there's a lot of CBD coming out right now. I mean, DJ Khaled's got a brand. Like any big celebrities like Travis Barker, Martha Stewart.
It's like a fucking podcast. It's like they're all getting one.
Yeah, dude, they're all getting one now. It's like we finally had one thing, and you guys got to come back and take it again. So
that's exactly it. What's the name of the company?
We all feel that pain.
Let's plug it here. What's the name?
Please. It's called Elate CBD. You can go to elateproducts.com is where we've got all of our stuff. And we've got tinctures and we have rolls. It's all on my shelf right in front of me. We've got like this is our freeze roll on. We've got these tinctures right here.
Nice.
We have soft gels. We have a sleep spray that will like knock you out. It's amazing. We've gotten some write-ups about that. Good ones, not bad ones. We're getting more stuff, man. Hopefully we're getting some lotions, like you said. We've got a couple things down the pipe, but we're just waiting to kind of, get a little more under us before we start moving all about.
Absolutely. And what's the website again?
Elateproducts.com.
Elateproducts.com. Okay, well, I'll drop it into the description. I'll link it there so you can go check it out.
Best.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Well, dude, you're
Thanks,
great.
Dude.
We're happy you're here. We're happy. Pat is also, besides being a mogul, hanging out with celebrities, he's also a great comedian, a great stand-up. I love. I always go back to when I think of Pat, I think of this great joke he talked about how. It was your notes like between your grandfather and your grandmother during the war. I don't know if you remember that bit. Yeah. Great bit.
Yeah, totally.
I love that. And how people now
just about how.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we don't try now. Yeah. I mean, you nailed it. That was it. Just about how it was so much harder back then to try.
So much, dude.
Even if you're not at war, the joke for me is about how my grandpa was at war, and every month he could write one letter home to my grandma when they were dating. And he's like, the war is so hard, but thought of you keeps me going on. And just how serious and real it is. And then how nowadays, we just sit there and we're swiping and I might see a cute girl and we click it, look at all of her pictures, read her whole bio. I'm like, I'm really doing this for her right now. And then you click into her Instagram and you look at all of her photos. Maybe you like a couple of photos, and then you go back to your dating app and you swipe right and you guys don't match. And you're like, well, I tried. But you didn't do shit, dude. You just swiped a finger, bro.
I love it.
You weren't
dude.
writing letters, dude. Yeah, exactly.
How bad? I mean,
Yeah,
are
man,
you getting
thanks.
up? Are you getting reps, or are you hitting?
Yeah,
Comedy's opening up a little bit now, or what?
a little bit. I had a couple shows that I got booked on in LA. I got too scared. I ended up canceling. LA was such a hotbed, and like,
Yeah.
if I know comics, it's that we don't really take precautions. I just had a
Sure.
feeling I was gonna walk in, just dudes sitting like on each other thing, and like, so I canceled that. But I ended up, I'll talk about this later, but I ended up getting COVID twice anyway. I just got over my second time. So like, I think I'm
Twice?
good, dude. Yeah, I think I made it. I think I'm a survivor. But so there's been a
Yeah.
couple shows. I did a show in San Diego last week, which was awesome. I did like this big outdoor show. There was like 150 people there. It just felt good to get up. There's no time to like really rehearse and practice jokes and like get an open mic. So I just went up there and just started like talking about anything that was on my mind recently. And it was fun. It was just fun to get back up. And then I'm doing a digital show for this really great brand called Chocolate Sundays. It's under Kevin Hart's umbrella. That's on this Sunday. It's just a digital show. And besides that, like, there's these new cool platforms that have been kind of popping up now where we have an opportunity to still do, some form of stand-up, at least just talking and stuff. Have you guys checked out Clubhouse? It's pretty awesome.
Dude, I just signed up for Clubhouse. I was thinking about doing some
cool.
stuff here on the for the pod. I've jumped in
You
on
guys
some
definitely
conversations. Dude, I got so many questions about it. You know what it feels like? And of course,
What's
my
that?
first mechanism is to make fun of something I don't understand rather than be like,
That's what life is, man.
yeah. It's like, well, I don't understand it. So let me just make fun of it and push it away rather than accepting it for a revolutionary piece of technology. But it seems like it's when you're on like conference calls, but this is like pre-Zoom. I guess people can still call in on Zoom, but conference calls and everyone's sitting around and they put it on mute and everyone's bored. They're just sitting around like, God, the boss keeps talking. Now that's their business model. They're like, let's take that awful experience and make billions of dollars off of it. I just don't.
Oh yeah,
I don't get it.
These kids are banking now, dude. It's crazy. Like, I don't understand how these guys are like. I don't understand how you take something like that boring and like monotonous, and then you're like, I've got a business idea. That's genius, dude. That's something that I don't contain. I don't have that.
So are you doing comedy on these on Clubhouse and stuff?
Yeah, I've jumped on for a couple of them that are just like, business and like just conversation, and it's still really cool. I mean, some of these rooms have like big people in there. Like, I mean, I don't even know. I can't even think off the top of my head, but like, there's some really big, business moguls. Like a lot of conversations about that. A lot of the ones because it kind of caters to the people who you follow too. So I see a lot of like Hollywood conversations, people with just that kind of stuff. And there's a bunch of other comics who have done these rooms too. And a popular room is just roasting people, which has been pretty fun.
Brilliant.
So I've been doing a bunch of these roast rooms, which have been really cool. A couple comedy shows here and there. And then sometimes you'll just get on late at night and it's just somebody, it's like 15, 20 people in a small room and they're having like a real conversation about like life. And I've jumped into those a couple times, like where I'm maybe even like a little bit drunk or like maybe I smoked a little bit. And I'm like, and you get into this thing. And, there's like, I don't know if you guys know how it works, but there's a stage where people can be like the hosts can moderate other moderators, and those people can bring people onto the stage. And when you're on the stage, you can chat. And then if you're not on the stage, you're in the audience and you can't, you can't talk. So I've been in some of these rooms where there's like 3,000-4,000 people in them. And then they can have like, as many people as they want on stage, but they can get all jumbled and stuff if there's too many people talking. But man, it's really cool. But it's also, it's dangerous because it's so easy. I'll lay down in bed and I'll pop it on at night. And one night, dude, like I had some weird date the day before and it was like a Saturday night and I was drinking a little bit from at a buddy's house and I came home and I jumped on and there's like all these girls in this chat. And I was like, just like what? I started asking these dating questions and I was like talking about this girl and I was like, dating's so hard. And then there was a comic in there as well who I'm like a very big fan of. His name's Adam Ray. I don't know if you guys know who he is or not.
Yeah,
he's really
course.
funny. And Adam's the best. And I was talking to Adam and then I also started getting like sentimental about Adam because I was like, man, Adam's like one of the first comics I saw when I started doing stand-up and really pushed me to be. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was I doing last night, dude? Like talking to all these people about girl problems, telling Adam Ray I love him. And then I fell asleep. I just fell asleep on the fucking call, dude. And I woke up and my phone was there, and I was like, oh no. Oh bad boy.
Oh yeah. It's not like, what are those? It's like those texts, like, what did I text my ex? Now it's like, why did I have a conversation in front of thousands of people last night? It's that easy to do now.
Dude, it is too easy now, man. It is but it's awesome, man. So so these really cool opportunities, like these little platforms that are kind of popping up that are just giving us the ability to still do a little bit of stand up here and there. I mean, the Zoom shows usually blow, but at least we can get up there and talk a little bit. But yeah, it's been all right. Still getting reps.
I feel like we're getting. I personally, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got to talk to you about COVID because you had it twice, for God's sakes, Pat. But yeah. I feel like we've turned the corner. Just personally, I'm like, okay, we got 3 vaccines. We're, hey, everyone's pretty much masked up now. You know what I mean? Like, we're done with all that.
Except Texas, baby.
Yeah,
Texas.
Is done, Jesus Christ, Texas.
What in the hell?
Fuck, Pike is in Orlando. Pike, what is Florida like right now?
Dude, it got a bad rap, but it's not bad. I mean, like, I'd be honest, I don't look at the numbers, you know what I mean? But like, everybody here, you got to wear a mask in the freaking. It's like anywhere. You got to wear a mask in the gas station. You got to wear a mask when you go into the bar, but then obviously, magically, you can take it off because you can't get it while you're drinking.
Dude, okay. Can I just say this?
Talking like a true Floridian, dude.
Yeah, exactly. My sister, I have family that lives in South Florida. Like, I have a couple sister-in-laws that live in South Florida, and my wife's family all lives there. And they go, if you haven't had COVID yet and you're in Florida, it's a miracle. You're like looked at like, what? It's a miracle. They're like, there's no way that they're reporting it correctly because, dude, it's like a different planet. Like, they are just in their own little reality. This is South Florida, at least, Pike. I know you're in Orlando.
It's bad down there. Yeah,
okay,
that's where it's the worst.
Dude, everybody's had it down there. Maybe that's how they're building their immunity because, Jesus Christ.
My parents are there right now.
Are they really?
Oh, so scared now. Yeah, just talk to them, dude. I gotta go. I gotta call again. I got warnings and shit. They're in the Keys right now. I gotta get out of here.
Oh, man. Well, how bad is it? How bad was it for you? Because I know it's different for everybody. How the first one was worse. The second one.
The first one. So here's the thing. The first one for me, I was in Ohio, and I got a rapid test when I got to Ohio. My mom had just had surgery, so I wanted to go see her and got a rapid test when I got there and was clean. It was good. And then I got back on a flight 2 weeks later and got to LA. I got another rapid test because I had to shoot. And that came back positive. And then I started getting, I didn't feel bad. And I started getting like every rapid test I took, I was positive on them over and over and over again. So I just talked to the guy. I'm like, and I got a negative one on a PCR test. And I was like, hey man, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm getting rapid or positives on here and negatives on here and the negatives on here and positive on here. And he's like, we just don't know enough about it. You should just treat it like you have it. And I was like, okay. And so he's like, you probably do have it. You're just going to be asymptomatic. And I was like, all right. And to tell you the truth, it was fucking awesome, dude. Like, can I cuss on here, by the way? I'm sorry. I'm throwing shit out there.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going into comic mode. So tell you the truth, it really was awesome, dude, because I mean, look at this beautiful desk in the closet was made during my COVID stay. My roommate left for 2 weeks. I was alone what was the last time we were alone for 2 weeks, let alone like 2 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had that. I mean, that's really when I got the business started for the CBD company. That was like 7 months ago when we were launching. I don't know. I thought it was great. I was writing every night. I didn't drink or do anything for 2 weeks or smoke. I mean, I was a good boy, dude. I was in bed by 11 p.m., up by like 6:30 a.m., working out every day. It was the shit. And then the second time I got it was like 5 or 6 months later, and that was not very fun. It was like the worst. Oof. Dude, it was brutal. Everything except for the nausea. I had everything else. The worst thing about it was just the body aches. I don't know if either of you had it yet or not, but like your body is just like, just everything's in pain. It's kind of like when you have the flu and you like touch your skin,
Yeah.
And it hurts. You're like, how does my skin hurt? Like your hair hurts. And then it really attacks any of your problem areas. So like for me, my knees are bad. And so every night or all through the day, actually, my knees would just be like excruciating. Like just like felt like I was like in my 90s, and my roommate has a bad back. He got it as well with me the second time. Bad back, and his lower back would like be killing him, and like it's weird. It's like the virus like knows where your weaknesses are. I think that's why they say like if you have pre-existing conditions, it can really affect that. Like I was imagining like if my problem would have like been something with lungs or breathing, it probably would have found it out, and like it was crazy. And that was a good 2 weeks. I missed gigs. I had a big ABC gig I was excited about. I missed that. I missed like 5 other shoots. But you know what? I'm here on Sparks Radio, dude. So like honestly, like the world has a way of coming back to you and saying, "Here you go, baby. Here you go.
You hit the big time." I'm glad ABC didn't work out because now you have made it. All right.
Yeah.
And that might have taken you in a different direction.
Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Dude, this is where I need to be.
This is exactly where
you're gonna be like you're going to be like one of the great success stories of COVID. They're going to do like the in memoriam of, they're going to scroll all the dead people across. And then at the end, they're going to go, but and then you're going to be your picture.
It wasn't all bad.
And I burst through the screen. You're like, oh,
exactly. Pat Quinn came out better for it. Exactly. Yeah. He did Sparks Radio. And he went to bed at 11 o'clock the first time and built a desk. That's right. Well, I keep telling,
he's doing good.
I keep telling everybody, I'm like, dude, we got to come out of this thing better. Got to come out of it better. That's my only goal. It's like, just come out of it better than you went into it. And
amen.
Now that we're starting to kind of turn, it's kind of like, what'd you do during the quarantine? What'd you do during COVID? The year that for some people, the world got messed up for like a day and they're like, their lives really didn't change that much. Other people, their lives completely changed. Like my life completely flipped.
Sure.
Didn't expect that. But it kind of ranges either way. We were all touched by it. How are you going to come out of this thing a little bit better? And it seems like you have, dude, because I feel like comedians, especially during COVID or any kind of entertainer, really, you have to adapt. And it kind of shows you how good are you at adapting to like strife and to problematic times. And the ones that are better at adapting are going to come out of it a lot better. So by going to these Zoom rooms and doing comedy where you can and doing all this kind of stuff, you're broadening, you're becoming a bigger, more well-rounded comedian in terms of your abilities and what you're capable of than you would be, before the pandemic, where you might have just been, hey man, I do stand up and I'm an actor. I do stand up and I'm an actor. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of like, well, I can start a business and I can use my skills from this other thing to apply to marketing and becoming an owner and the whole, that's what I'm saying. Come out of it better. And I think you have. I follow you on Instagram. By the way, if you haven't followed Pat on Instagram, you are an amazing follow, dude. I love checking out all your stuff. Man. I love watching all your stuff. It's never not funny. And at the same time, it's incredibly personable. Like I know who you are and I still laugh at the same time, which is it's a hard thing to do. So follow Pat.
Thanks, man.
On social. Yeah, dude.
Appreciate
you're great.
that. Yeah, I put it all out there, dude. My mom's figured out how to use stories now. Some of the stuff I post, she's just like, what is that? What does that mean? I'm just like, oh God. Parents learning social is beautiful and also like a danger to society. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah. Have you been dealing with that yourself?
Yeah, well, my mom.
Happening?
Yeah, well, my dad, he can read text, but he can't respond to them. That's where he's at. But my mom,
oh my God,
is like, I know. That's where we're at with him.
It's the same thing, dude. It's the same with my dad.
My mom, she's the one that just shares anything, and she'll share something about, like just the grossest sex stuff. Like if he ain't got a big dick, he better not even knock on my door. Like stuff like that. And then the next post is like her sharing a Bible verse. And I'm like, Mom,
yeah, dude.
First of all, what
everyone can see this.
But second of all, everyone can see it. I'm not even going to address why you're sharing that.
Yeah.
But just
think about that's when you click the old unfollow button. You can still be family.
My mom, because she kept sharing heinous shit. I couldn't take it anymore.
That's ridiculous, dude. Oh, my mom's not doing the gross stuff, but she's the one asking me about the gross stuff. I'm saying like, everybody can see this. I'm like, how do you know this? Like and my dad is like I've been teaching him a little bit too when I was back home, and like so now I'll see my dad just share like a photo that he posted that I posted for him like 3 years ago, and it's just on his story now. And I'm like, you know what you're doing? But he's learning. He's figuring it out. He's doing things here and there, and now he's finally starting to post a little bit of stuff here and there that he's figured out. Then I'll DM him of something. I'm like, because like we're both pretty into golf. He's a big golfer, so I'll send him like a golf thing. I'm like, dude, this trick shot's crazy. Did you watch it? And it just says seen. And I don't know if he knows you're supposed to reply and like. And then we just got him an Apple Watch for his birthday,
nice.
3 days ago. A couple of us, my brothers and me, like put together some money and split it up. And he just got that. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome because he can track his golf. He's in Florida right now. He's gonna be playing golf all week.
Yeah.
He can watch like the golf course on his tracker and everything, and he can see when we text him or call him, and he'll be like, oh, okay, I'll immediately do this. Versus like his phone's always sitting somewhere else. I mean, I swear to you, I will talk to him once a month, but I'll try him like 10 times a month. But he'll only answer like one of those times. So I'm like, this is a great idea. He'll have the watch. He'll see it. It's right there. Dude, nothing has changed. It's been like 5 days, and I'll text him and be like, how's the watch? And I'll call my mom to see if he got the text 5 days later. I'm like, did Dad get the text? It's like, we're still figuring it out.
He just ignores you, Pat. I think it's time you realize he's just
I think that's
blowing
what it
you
is.
off. Yeah.
I think he's been trying to get rid of me for 30 plus years, and he's just like, man, this is my opportunity. But it's kind of beautiful at the same time. It's like we're so obsessed with technology. Let the dude just walk around and mow the yard and not give a shit about Instagram or text. Just let him go.
It is frustrating because you want them to enjoy it because there's so much they would enjoy if they just knew how. Like I'll show my dad. He's like a big Bob Seger guy. I'm like, Dad, you don't have to listen to the CD anymore. You can Google or you can YouTube him. You can watch a whole show. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, that's really cool, Dad. Like, think about it. They just don't care.
I don't think you understand.
No, listen, Dad.
Yeah, it's any song
love this.
ever made in the history of the world. It's right. You can get it right now. It's like right there.
Yeah.
You don't have
and
to.
then I'll go like, okay.
Like, what store? What store do I go to? No, Dad.
No.
It's a keyboard.
Then every time you show up, then it's the same thing. He's got a CD player out, listening to the same Bob Seger. I'm like, Dad.
He just wants to let him have it. At this point,
I know.
That's how I feel. It's just like whatever. Just let him have it.
It's kind of funny though too how we're teaching our folks about like how to use MP3s and like YouTube and like you can get all your music from here. But at the same time, I know a lot of us are going the opposite way. And like I've got so much vinyl now, especially over this break. I bought so much vinyl. My dad's all pumped about it. So every once in a while, he'll go to like this little shop in Akron where Sparks and I are from, and like the seat, like there's like remember Square Records, Sparks?
Yeah.
In Highland Square.
Yeah.
He'll go there all the time now.
Oh,
he loves it there, and like he loves that I'm into vinyl now. So he'll like he'll find a couple albums for like $1 each and just send them out to LA, and I'm like I'm loving it. Like
awesome.
and he gets good finds, dude. He sent me a bunch of like Bob Seger albums. Funny you mentioned that, and like and then I went home recently and was looking through his whole album collection, and he has so many duplicates of like really good albums, like The Wall and like some other big ones, and I'm like, he's not gonna notice if a couple of these dupes go missing, right? I don't think so.
And so you stole from your father is what you're saying. You're like, here's an Apple Watch. I'm taking some of your duplicate records. It's a wash. We're fine.
I'll make it up to you in the future at some point. You'll be fine.
Yeah, just be like, hey, if you want these back, you'll have to communicate with your son on the other side of the country. Just use
them you want these back?
Yeah.
I should cut all the letters out of like the case. And he's like, well, you just ruined everything.
You're mailing like a ransom note out of the cover art. That's hilarious. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, I know you're real quick. This Toyota Sienna commercial. I hear Pat. Yeah. I hear your voice all the time, dude. I have like
makes me feel good.
The YouTube TV, like that. So my son is watching Paw Patrol on Nickelodeon. Is usually the only time that's ever on. And they run that Toyota Sienna commercial all the time. Pat, you're the voice on this Toyota Sienna commercial. This minivan.
Yeah.
You've probably seen it, Pike, but this minivan's like driving around. There's like voiceover of the people inside the van. Pat's one of the voices, which is pretty cool.
No shit. Dude, that's great. Man.
Yeah, man. That's been one of the things that got me through this quarantine is that little paycheck, which has been nice. So,
dude.
Thank you, Toyota.
Thank you, Toyota. Shout out to Toyota.
Yeah.
Minivans
shout out
everywhere.
Toyota, Sienna. Yeah, minivans in general. Funny story about that shoot. So we So my two other buddies are in that commercial as well. Morgan J and Greg Santos, also very funny comics, and they needed three real friends, because we needed to be in a car together for this commercial. Because we're in that car.
Are you really?
We're actually in that car.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we were on set for about 12 hours that day, and in the first it's whatever. Like the first couple hours, we're out there shooting, and they have this huge drone, and like the idea is that they're going to have that follow car that's following the van in the commercial you see right now, and then also a drone flying by us to get some shots into the car of us. And so like it's going to be like these two different shots, all one take though. And like the drone, it's massive. It's like one of those huge drones with like 6 blades, big camera. And it's like when he's taking off, it's a little rocky, as he's going in the air. And then like it's good. And I was walking by and I see the guy, the operator of the drone. And I go, man, is that thing pretty hard to operate? And he goes, oh yeah, man, it's hard. And I was like, cool. I walk away, come back. I sit back in my chair again, watching the next take. Immediately next take, the dude, like the must be the wind, just crashes the drone right into a wall. And we're like,
no way.
Oh God.
Oh God.
So we lose that whole camera. We lose the whole camera. So then that whole shot is gone. So then you can't see us in the car now. So they just had us like, we were still there till like midnight or like 1 a.m. And we did the lines in the car that you hear on the commercial, but I guess they didn't sound good. So they brought us into to do ADR, which is like, I can't remember what it means, but it's just like doing the voiceover stuff, like in a real sound booth, like what you guys do.
Yeah.
And then that's what it came out to. But it was a great commercial. It was fun. But there's two versions. There's a girl version. You can kind of see a little bit more of what the intention was, like the way that they did it. Theirs is great too.
So it was never supposed to be just voiceovers, but because the shot was because the wind, essentially we'll blame the wind.
Yeah.
That's why you're not.
Yeah.
That's why your face isn't on the TV.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I know, dude. Can you imagine stealing this mustache from the limelight, bro? Come on.
Look at that mustache.
Look at this bad boy.
Oh.
It's a little blurry. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's good.
Oh, it's there. Absolutely.
Really
wow,
nice.
dude.
It's there, man.
Absolutely. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, that's just production is just a crazy thing. It's just every single time on set, there's always going to be, I'm sure it's the same thing with radio and stuff too. There's always like some wires crossed or something, right? Or maybe not. Is that wrong?
Well, unless someone comes in and fucks with the board, that's always the worst thing.
Yeah.
Right, Pike? Is like,
Who did that? Who's in here?
Who was in here? Yeah, that's the one question. Yeah. You always
who was in here?
Yeah.
I own this studio. What the fuck? You tell me somebody else does a show in here? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right?
What were they doing? Why do they have to push all the buttons? I don't understand. It's the worst thing because
everything's unplugged.
Yeah. Seriously? Yeah. Or the engineer would come in and just completely, I decided to rewire everything last night and I didn't tell anything. I didn't tell anyone. No one got an email. That happened all the time. And you're like, what the fuck? You walk in and the board is literally in half and you're up and the engineer's there with a flashlight. You're like, what are we doing?
And
He's
an
like,
axe. You're like, what the fuck is the axe for, dude?
Yeah, he's like hacking away. Yeah. Well, dude,
wouldn't move.
I want to ask you this because we are pivoting towards the financial thing, and you mentioned that commercial got you through, which is awesome. How do you break down your finances? Being a comedian, I mean, do you have it like, okay, well, this part of the check has got to go for rent. Obviously, it's got to go to my car payment. This has got to go. Is that what you do with every check, or do you just pay as you go, or how do you get through it yourself?
Yeah, man, it's honestly like maybe I should watch some previous episodes to get some better financial advice because mine is just dog shit. Like I mean, it is. It's hard. I will say, like, because like I had a regular job for for what, like the first like 8 years I was out here. I was doing some freelance production, but I was still employed by a company. And then I was doing I was at a marketing company for like 6 years, and that was great money. And then once stand-up started to kind of pick up, which I mean I've told you before in previous podcasts, it was just it was a weird random fluke. I mean I always wanted to act and stuff, but I came out here and I was like, I'm gonna go behind the camera. I'm just gonna either produce and just kind of go from that side of it because I just know how subjective this industry is. Like you can walk into a room to be cast and they're like, I don't like his eyebrows, and then your thing's already shot. Yeah, and that's just the reality of the situation. And so I was like, I'm gonna be behind the camera. And, my dad was echoing in my head. I'm like, just get a steady paycheck, just be good to go. And then once stand-up started to pick up, I was like, well, I got to kind of make a decision here. And so I jumped full into the stand-up world. And then it just kind of became like these little bouncing job to job thing. And like stand-up comedy is, you can make great money once you're established, you know, like once you're traveling and like once you're selling out rooms, you can make a lot of money, but it just takes time to get there. A lot of these guys, unless they're like phenoms, are taking 8-10 years to really find your voice and capture that audience. So for me, I don't know, man. I'm honestly, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm pretty bad with money, just because it's like, you know, I get the money in and I really look at it and I go, okay, car payment, rent, utilities, gas, and food. And I kind of look at it that way, and I go, I just got to make sure that I make this last for however long it is. You know, before the pandemic, I was still working a bit of like a steady thing at this production company. And this year, I feel like everybody said it, but this was gonna be my best year on record for money. I was traveling a lot for this company that we were doing. Like, I don't know if you saw this or not, we were doing this cool basketball setup for this company called SAP, and we were traveling the whole world and like really doing, and it was good pay and it was fun. It was all inclusive, like all expenses paid. We were in Lisbon, and we were going back to Barcelona, and I feel like a weird celebrity, which was awesome because I would go there and people are like, wait, aren't you the basketball? Because Lisbon was small and it was just massive crowds. There's like 80,000 people, and they're like, I'd be out like at a bar getting a drink. They go, aren't you the basketball guy? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God, dude, you're so funny. And then I did 2 shows while I was out there as well. And they go, you're a real comedian? It was so fucking rad. And so that was really fun. So we had a bunch more of those planned. We were doing like, possibly like Saudi Arabia and Milan and like all these really awesome places this year. And obviously everything fell apart. So then it turned into a whole new situation of like, okay, I got to reevaluate my finances and see how I'm going to make it by with some stuff. It's also like talking with your agents and being like, hey, making sure that we're doing the right stuff and getting me in the right rooms. And I've just kind of been doing anything. It's weird. Like when you're put up against a wall, you kind of find a way to stay up. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing here. And then, the CBD company, we're not seeing any money with it yet. We're just working for free and putting everything back into the company.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
So that's where that's going. So when you get a good gig like this Toyota one, you're just stoked because these guys have money, and you're like, all right, they're going to run it a bunch. Like the Burger King commercial I did a while back was like, that was a savior as well, because those big companies just have the money to like pop that up everywhere. So every time you see it play, every time you were saying that you heard it, yeah. I'm just hearing like, there's part of rent. There's my part of my rent for the month. And like, so that's kind of, yeah. That's kind of how it's going right now. Yeah, man, it's cool. It's just, just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, which is the worst thing to say when you're talking about financial expenses. but I know when things come back, it'll be a little bit more easy to manage that kind of stuff. But it was great to get this commercial, and hopefully, I keep booking a few more before the quarantine's out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I'm saying by Labor Day, I think we're beyond this, completely. Where, I mean, you might still have masks, but I think we're done. I think thank God we're out. You know what I mean? We've seen the light.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time. Yeah. They're saying by end of May, everybody will have a vaccine is what they're kind of saying now. So we'll see. We've heard it before, dude. Come on. 2 more years.
I know. All right, let me ask you this question. What's the dumbest thing you've spent money on? What's the worst thing you've spent money on? Let's go with dumbest, not worst. The dumbest thing you've spent money on. It could also be the worst.
I mean, if we're not talking about expensive, like if we're just saying dumb shit, I mean, that's almost every day. I mean, I buy, this isn't dumb, but I am at Chipotle at least 2 or 3 times a week, dude. Like I can't stop it. I love it so much. I'm there all the time.
I'm right there with you.
I'm going golfing this weekend, and it's a $600 golfing trip. And I was like, I don't know why I agreed to this. We're only there for 1 day, dude. But it's a good opportunity. There's, you got to think about like, sometimes there's people you want to meet. So I'm like, I'm going to go on this trip. It'll be fun. But okay, I got one actually. Maybe like 2 months ago, I saw an ad on Instagram. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, where you throw those little balls in the air and they hit your ceiling and they stick for a second and they fall back down. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You bought those, Pat?
No.
Yeah, dude, fun. They were only like $15, and then they just never came. And I was like, well, I guess I got duped. And then like 3 months later, they came in from China, and this is like the height of the pandemic. And my roommate goes, "Don't open them up. Don't open those up." And like, dude, I paid $15. And so we'd open them up and they're nothing, not that you would have expected them to be anything close to the quality that they looked like on these videos. It's just a hollow ball. And I threw like 2 on the ceiling and they're still there. And my ceilings are so high, I can't get them down. So I've just got these little colorful balls all stuck on my ceiling right now. And who knows when they'll come down. Because it's been like 3 weeks. They're supposed to fall down in 2 minutes. They've been up there for 3 weeks, dude. And I don't see them coming down. So,
why are you
that was a dumb
buying
one.
balls that stick on your ceiling during a pandemic? What are we doing here?
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to be me, bro. I'm just trying to figure out who I am. Like maybe I'm a guy who throws balls at the ceiling. I don't know. Oh, I did make. Let me see if I have this right here. Because if this is right here, it's gonna be perfect for this conversation. I made a really great purchase the other day, and shit. Never mind. It must wait a second.
Yeah, you got camo sweatpants on.
Oh, dude, I've changed my outfit to only wear sweatpants the rest of my life. I'm a comfy guy now. All right, I can't find it, but there's this company that I found also on Instagram. I'm gonna be the old man who's getting duped by every Instagram ad, but I'm proud of this purchase, dude. I'm still trying to find it. I think it's in my car, but it's a Forrest Gump shirt, and it was from an Australian company, but it was so sick. It's like one of those like school photos of like, Forrest is like sitting on it like this, and it just says "Run, Forrest, run." It's like all vintagey looking, and I kept going back and forth because after shipping, it was like $65. And I was like, but it's such a great shirt, dude. It's such a great t-shirt. And then I bought it. I did it. And it took like, 3 weeks to get in again. And then I got here and that wasn't the only size they had also left because they were going to discontinue it was an extra large. So I bought an extra large $65 Australian Forrest Gump t-shirt. And you know what? Wouldn't change a thing, man. Wouldn't change a thing.
Hell yeah.
I like how much Pike is identifying with this right now. Pike's like, God, I think Pat is my soulmate. I think
Let's
absolutely.
go, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I've thought that since you first came on here. I thought something about this guy.
Oh man,
I
was feeling something with you too. Yeah.
You too? Okay.
Oh yeah, dude. I can feel it. I can feel the love,
You guys, all right. Look, I'm not your dad. I'm not here to say don't buy $65 Forrest Gump shirts. So you spend your money how you think you should spend your money, but I'm a little taken back, but that's fine. You put it in the category of the dumbest things you've spent your money on. Absolutely. So another financial question for you. At Pat Quinn on all social media. Is it at? I follow you on Instagram primarily. That's all I'm on now, really. Is it?
Yeah, it's all you really need.
I'm
dude.
Pat Quinn.
TikTok's a good one too, but I'm Pat Quinn. Yeah, and then TikTok is PATT Quinn.
All right, there you go.
But it's yeah.
Here's my another financial question for you. What would you say to other stand-ups that are just trying to get going? Would you recommend getting that 9 to 5, getting that stable revenue stream, and then also doubling down and trying to do comedy at night after work and everything like that?
Yeah.
Or would you say jump in immediately and like you during the pandemic, you're going to figure out the ways to get paid? Which one would you go with?
I would want to say jumping immediately, but I still don't think that's the move. I think you got it in the beginning. Unless, like I said, once again, unless you're like some crazy phenom, if you're just starting off, you're not gonna be great in the beginning. It takes a while to kind of like. That's not saying that you're not a good comic. It's just saying it's hard to like figure out the stage and figure out the audience and like get your bearings. And you get on stage and the first time somebody heckles you, you just shit your pants. You're just like, what do I do right now? It just completely throws you off. So getting that job, that stability, and having that way to pay your rent. Because who knows when you can pay your rent with stand-up. So having a job is like a necessity. You got to have that support. I would say just get the 9 to 5. Just make sure it's a job that they're not going to keep you late every single night because you have other commitments. You got to treat stand-up if you're doing it as if it's your as if it's your first career. And like these are both other ones just kind of supporting that one. So I mean, man, when I was first starting out, I lived in Playa del Rey, which is I'm on the west side of LA. And it's like, that's right on the beach. And it takes forever to get to Hollywood. So every day I would pack a bag in the morning. I would try and go to the gym, obviously. You guys can see. And then I would take my car out, try to go to the gym, go to work. And sometimes the job that I had at the time would be one of those jobs that was like, you know, they would keep me late. So and I was in Hollywood for that job. So I drive all the way to Hollywood for my job. I would get out like the minute I could leave. I would leave and go straight to an open mic almost every single night. I would say the biggest thing too is like meeting a group of people who are in the same like, you know, the beginner stage as you, and just latch onto those guys. And then let that be your kind of your writing team, your team that pushes you guys. You push them, they push you to go to these mics, and then do shows and do that nonstop. And for a while there was like days at a time I wouldn't come home. Like I would have a bag packed of clothes and just stay out at a friend's house in Hollywood, because like my job was there already and my show was there again the next night. So I just sleep out, you know, 3 nights a week at a buddy's house. And it's just a grind. Like I love stand up. I do not miss you know, how rough the beginning is sometimes.
Yeah.
It's good to be, you know, now I can go do shows, and like I still do open mics, but we all know the open mics are kind of like, I always call them the dementors of comedy. Like you go in there and you just start doing a joke and everyone's like, it just like sucks out all your confidence, and you're like, oh yeah, this joke sucks, I'm gonna kill myself. and then you're done with that joke. you really got to kind of like, you know, get the confidence just comes from like repetition and figuring stuff out. And
Sure.
so anyways, I'm veering off, but like, yeah, having that having the support job to kind of get that stuff going, and feeling like you can make all your bills and stuff, and then just grind it out at night. Just go out there and do all the shows at night.
I love it. My last financial question for you is, what's one piece of financial advice that you've gotten that you hear in your head? Like I think of you when I think of Pat Quinn. I think of that joke that you know about your grandfather writing letters, World War II, that kind of thing. When I think of Pike, every single time I'm about to like cheat on a diet or something, I think of Pike, because I know Pike over here, he's eating perfectly during the week, and I'm like, I can't do it. What's one piece of advice that just lives in your head about money? Do you have one? Or I imagine it would come from your dad, probably, from the sounds of it. But
yeah, it's from my dad. And I mean, I've got pieces of advice that just don't fully apply to me yet, just because it, you know, once the money starts really coming in, which it will, I'm not really that concerned about it. I know that like you gotta have faith in this industry. You gotta be like, I'm gonna make it. You have to be a little bit what's the word? I don't know, just be dreaming. You know what I mean? Just be like, it's gonna, I'm missing the word, but it's gonna happen, and you need to have that confidence to make that happen. So once that does, then I'll be able to apply a lot of these pieces of that to this situation. But I think one of the main things is like just savings. Like even if you're not making that much money, just make sure that you're at least trying to do a little bit of savings here and there. Like I've got, you know, an old 401k, I've got an IRA, and I try and put whatever I can in from like these paychecks into a savings account, because, you know, eventually you're going to come to a point where you need that. And if you don't have it, that just seems like, from what I've been told my whole life, it's not good news. No. So I'm trying to put some money into these savings accounts. Yeah, man. So I think that's probably one of the bigger ones for me right now. It's just make sure you're investing and saving. And like I've been jumping in the stock market here a little bit lately. I mean, I got stuff before everything happened with like the Wall Street stuff, and then once that all started happening, the Wall Street bets, once that started happening, I got even more involved. I was like, oh, double down on Dogecoin. Bad idea. But you know, get a couple GameStop stocks.
Are you?
Bad idea again.
Yeah,
we make mistakes. We make mistakes. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna hold on to it, dude. I'm gonna hold on to it. You know, it's the funny thing is like, you know, to get into this whole thing, but like Elon Musk he controls that little Wall Street bets like Reddit stream. It's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, I've got some Dogecoin, I've got some GameStop, and a couple other things that they're talking about, and all of a sudden like everything's dipping, and then Elon Musk, you know, like tweets a photo of him walking a dog and like writes to the moon. Everyone's like, oh shit, and like it just goes back up, you know?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And he just wants to. It's like he's just messing with us, dude. It's like, you know what I mean? He's like, let's see if this rocket crashes, and he's like, oh, and then like, you know, we're playing this up and down game with good old Elon. But
dude, 100%. Yeah, dude, I would love to go into cryptocurrency conversations, man, because I've been researching that. I own Bitcoin. I don't own Dogecoin, but now
good, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, well,
that's awesome.
I own like
crushing right now.
No, very tiny amount of Bitcoin. Don't worry about it. It's not like I own
even still.
But no, you know what they're talking about now, as if we're recording this, is that Have you heard of these NFTs? I hope I'm even saying that right.
Yeah.
You've heard of this?
Yeah, and if non-fungible tokens, yeah.
Yeah. And I think was it the Killers that are putting out
Kings
something
of Leon.
Huh?
Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon. Well, I guess now all these artists are building out these digital one-off things that can never be duplicated. These kind of
so cool
pieces of memorabilia, and the way the technology that they're building this on is Ethereum. So Ethereum, they call them smart contracts, and so what it is it's not even a contract, and it's not smart. I don't know why they call them smart contracts, but it's essentially it's a deal saying I'm going to pay you this amount for this whatever you're going to give me, and that's what. So the actual coin, the funds are never really transferred. I hope I'm saying this right. I could be wrong. But if the funds are never transferred, just ownership of those funds are transferred. That's why it's quicker. Because with Bitcoin, only so much information can go in the blockchain that it takes a while. It could take 3 days sometimes for however long it takes for the miners to process that information. It could take 3 days to buy a candy bar. And so they're like, dude, these things have to be instant. It's got to be instant transactions. So Ethereum took care of that, and that's what this whole thing is built on. So now they're saying Ethereum might be the way to go, because if all these art people start jumping on these NFTs and it's built on Ethereum, then Ethereum might be the technology going forward, or the coin, the digital asset to go forward with. But who knows?
Yeah, it's all crazy, man. There's so much of that stuff popping up right now. I've been just doing like minimal research on the NFTs so far, but the research I've done, like, it looks pretty awesome, and I definitely want to get involved. And dude, I honestly, as you were talking, just remembered, I don't know if it was I think I had a dream last night about a different kind of coin. I don't know if it was real. It's like, I think I've been doing so much research on these coins and shit lately, but I don't know if this cryptocurrency was real or not. And I can clearly remember the conversation, and like someone's like, my brother was in it, and he bought in at like 30 cents, and now it's $1.50, and he's crushing it. But I don't know if that was real.
It was a clubhouse conversation. You had it on while you're sleeping. Oh my God. You're like,
it may have been.
You woke up. Yeah.
It may very well have been. But yeah, dude, it's so interesting right now. Like my roommate is the same way as you. He's got a good portion of a coin for crypto I'm blank right now, Bitcoin. Yeah. So he's in the same spot as you, and like we're both keeping an eye on anything else that's coming up. But these NFTs I just had a long conversation with my buddy over the weekend about the NFTs, and because he's really, really invested in it as well. But
it's crazy.
Could be the way to go, man. It's like, once the world crashes, what's going to be left? Maybe these tokens, maybe these coins are going to be somewhere in the digital world. You try and use $1, and they're like, "Get the hell out of here, you loser, you street person!" Like, this is not. We don't use paper money. Everybody got coronavirus just like a year ago from paper money. We're doing digis now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. There was an episode. It was a digital Batman series like a long time ago, and I think Batman was a kid. This was like 15, 20 years ago. But he always had this card, and it was just like a digital currency card, and they didn't have cash in this world, and he would always swipe it. I remember thinking how cool that was, and I never forgot about that, and it's kind of like coming to fruition now. It's
talking about
becoming
Batman
like
Beyond?
Almost real. It was Batman Beyond. That's exactly what it was.
Great show.
Good memory, man.
Great show.
That was
kidding
a great
me?
show.
Great memory. I was just watching it last night. I'm like, constantly watch it. Yeah. No. That was a great show. And I was always thinking, like, dude, Chris Nolan's Batmans were so dope. Why don't they do a Batman Beyond? That would be like, that's $1 billion. That's $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Man. Just sitting there waiting for a Batman Beyond. That's where I always thought about.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't do that. There's so many cool like video games and other like TV shows they need to adapt. It's just, for being actor a little bit, there's a lot of hoops to jump through, a lot of rights. People own certain things. Like, right. I want to see a Metal Gear Solid movie like that. I'm like, just would love that.
That'd be
and
so
I've
awesome.
talked about it before to people, and I think there's just like, it's just all caught up in like this whole chain of different people with ownership and stuff. So I think it's just really hard to get made, but someday, like, there's just a lot of good video games out there. They did Assassin's Creed. It wasn't good, but I think that
the Mortal Kombat that's coming out, like that's one for me. I'm
Oh
fucking
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
about
it's gonna
that.
be
I'm
sick,
there.
dude.
I'm
They need
there.
to do fatalities in it. Oh my god, bro, I can't
Oh.
wait. Because the technology is so good now. Like even the old one was fun in its own way.
Yeah.
It was
I
not
liked
great,
it.
but like it was fun in its own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
But
it's
like now
whatever.
they have the ability to actually make this stuff look real. Like he's gonna Scorpion's gonna shoot it out of his hand. It's gonna look real, and like people get ice froze. Who was your guys' characters in the game? Who did you always
That's
go
a
with?
great question.
I was a rep. My brother was like the Sub-Zero guy, and then I was Reptile, the green one.
Oh,
Reptile.
Reptile was a good one. Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
dude, badass.
Raiden's the best though.
Badass.
I mean,
Raiden's so old school. It's like
Raiden's
he's
so
like the
dope.
man of the game. You always feel like. Yeah, Raiden's dope.
what do you got?
I was
Pat?
always Scorpion, or Johnny Cage. One of those two though.
Yeah. That's the other thing. In the
Yeah.
first movie, Johnny Cage dies in like 6 seconds in like the first scene. It's like, I guess Johnny Cage he's dead already. All right, great. Yeah.
Just
He
get
walks
rid
out
of
with
that
sunglasses
human.
and he's dead. Yeah, exactly. Well, Pat, dude, I cannot thank you enough for doing this, for jumping on here
Yeah.
and being a part of this, man. This is awesome. This
Kidding
is
me,
great to
man?
see you.
I'm honored to be on here, man. I always love hearing from you, dude. Thanks for having me on this. You guys are great. You're crushing it as always. It's I just always feel so cool that I know a dude who's like killing it on radio, because you came from college. What we were doing in there, you had a perfect path. You weren't like the rest of us, just kind of meandering and dude. Well, not a perfect path. But you had a
perfect
you had
anymore.
a vision. You had a vision, dude. Right? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Am I
no,
wrong?
you're
You had a
right.
vision. You knew where you wanted to go, and I just think it's so cool that you let nothing stop you to get there. It's really dope, man. You're crushing it. Pike, I don't really know you as well yet, but from the looks of it and the sounds of it, you're also killing it, man. You seem like a great guy. You guys got great personalities, man. It's a lot of fun.
Well, thanks, Pat. Not crushing
Yeah.
it, but I'm
Not crushing-
paying
yeah.
the bills.
Not crushing it.
We're all
It's been great to
we're
meet
all
you.
crushing it.
God,
Yeah.
crushing. I got a wife. That's good
Yeah.
enough.
That's
It's
cool.
been very fun.
I don't even know what those are, dude. Like it is. You can't find wives out here, bro. They don't happen. They don't happen in LA. So that's crushing
I
it.
don't know what those are, bro. I know
Yeah,
his brother had to
dude.
go to Canada to get a wife. See how difficult it is now?
You got to outsource here, dude. You can't just pull in a regular LA girl. It's like, no, man. You got to go elsewhere, dude.
Yeah, that's absolutely
Yeah,
it.
no, I just appreciate you having me on, man. It was good to hear from you, man. This was an awesome podcast, dude. You guys are always fun. So I'll do this thing anytime. Anytime you want me on to bother y'all for an hour. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it. You jumping on. Make sure you're following Pat. He's on TikTok, and he used to be big on Snapchat.
On 'em
but
all,
he goes,
baby.
Now he's like, why go on Snapchat now that they got Instagram just crushing it? I'm Pat Quinn over on Instagram.
Yeah, dude. Crushing it on there. Pat Quinn, PATTQUINN on TikTok. Oh, and Clubhouse. It's just Pat Quinn.
Pat
You find me on
Quinn.
Clubhouse, and we're just PATQUINN, and we're always, like I said, popping up shows, and I'll just jump in random rooms at night on there. So if you guys follow me on there, you'll be able to see some of those rooms that I'm in, and they're usually, man, there's some heavy hitters in there, dude. Like just like last week, I was in there with like King Batch and Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter.
Yeah.
Some big people, and it's just really, really cool. Like it's a cool way to bring all these people together in a very, very simple way.
Well, you know what? It's
so check that
also
out.
the most like accessible way to talk to a celebrity or somebody,
Yeah,
not even like a celebrity, but even if you're like fascinated for like me, financial. I was jumping in last night because I downloaded a couple, like maybe a week or two ago, and I was just in there last night for like the first time. Like, all right, let's see what this is all about, this Clubhouse thing. And I was in there listening to some of these guys that I read their blogs on social media, and here they are like taking questions like one-on-one. I was like, this is dope. This is cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm all about this. It
really
kind of
is,
broke that
man.
barrier.
It's really awesome. Yeah, totally. Really, I mean, it makes everybody so accessible. And right now, especially in this time, like anybody who is a celebrity, I have to imagine that they're happy to be doing this, because you miss that connection with like your fans or just talking to people in general. So I think both sides are really getting a good benefit out of it right now.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something cool to check out. Yeah.
Well, we
Very, very
appreciate it. We'll definitely follow him it's just Pat Quinn on TikTok, Pat with 2 T's on TikTok. And I'll link, I'm sorry, Pat Quinn on Clubhouse. I'll link to all of these things in the description. Pat, you're the best, man. Thanks so much for jumping on, dude.
You guys are the best. Thank you guys for having me on,
Thanks,
man.
bro.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
Good
Thanks,
seeing
man.
you guys. Yeah. See y'all later.
Patrick Quinn, a fine Irish gentleman, if I do say so myself. What'd you think of your first time meeting him?
I really liked him. I liked him more and more. The last thing he said, wow, what a way to end the thing.
Do you remember even doing this interview at all?
No. What was I wearing?
We did record it maybe a week or two ago, but Pike, very short memory. But yet, Pat Quinn, long memory. He's a great guy. He'll never forget you. He's one of those dudes. So make sure you're giving him a follow on social media. I'm Pat Quinn. It's pretty easy. Also, check out his CBD company. I put a link in the description below so you can go and check that out for yourself if you want to order some of that product. So he's a great dude, a great man.
Well, he's a good follow. It's funny you say that because I feel like I know him more now than I did before. Because I've been following him for, since we did the interview.
Since you did the interview?
Yes. So he's very funny social media, very funny comedian. And well worth it. Well worth your time.
Well worth the time. I feel like he does social media correctly. In fact, I'm going to start copying what he does because I don't know what I'm doing on there. I'm just going to start copying Pat because he gets it. He really does.
Yeah, just copy paste.
Copy paste. I'm going to repeat everything he says and just tag him in each video.
Just type out the entire transcript of each video.
Yeah.
And do it. Yeah.
And it'll be perfect.
Why not?
I think that's what we'll do. But either way, give this guy an old follow, would you? He's a wonderful person as well. At Pike Taylor Radio on all social media. He's a good follow. I am at Sparks Radio. Good follow. I'll lie to you and say, yeah, dude, you're going to be blown away by the shit I put out there.
Oh,
it's a good time.
I mean, nobody's copying and pasting what we're putting out there, but it's good.
Not until I start copying and pasting Pat Quinn. Then they'll start copying and pasting me.
You're just the middleman.
Yeah, just the middleman. If you want to, it would be great if you sign up for the Patreon.
Patreon.com/Sparks Radio.
Sign up there. You get all kinds of sweet bonus content. Unedited, I didn't messed up that word. Unedited videos, unedited interviews, unedited magic tricks. All kinds of stuff is up there on the old Patreon. We do live hangouts with a bunch of committee members. It is a blast. Definitely sign up over there. Patreon.com/Sparks Radio. I got to leave, bro. We got to roll. Any last words, Pike?
But let me do this right this time. Take care, everyone. Have a great evening.
Show's over, motherfuckers. Now get out of here.